Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday, July 3rd, 2020. Can you believe it? It is Friday, July 3rd, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, July 3rd, 2020. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. Let's make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Can you believe it, dude? We're a day removed. A day removed from my favorite holiday, right? The 4th of July, Independence Day. Tomorrow, 244 years ago. 244 years ago, these boys, our forefathers, they had the forethought to create the Declaration of Independence back there, 1776. And I think the words, I put one little segment out of here. I think it's really important that we are reminded that it says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Ha ha! What a way to start our day. But amazing forethought. Think about it, man. 244 years ago, they had the forethought to write that Declaration of Independence, which still, I believe, should ring true today in this day. There's another human that I know with like massive brain power, with amazing forethought. Her name is Dr. Toni A, MD. It's Toni. Hi, Toni. How are you?
I am fantastic.
So Toni is a board certified family medicine physician, a wife, and executive career coach for high performing women. And really, she's just a lot of fun. We've already had a lot of fun here this morning. And so she's here today. Like we have talked all week here on this show about work-life balance, really stepping into your purpose. Like we've mapped out what that looks like. And Toni's going to shed additional insight on how we can further move towards that. We're going to do that in just a second. But Toni, before I fully bring you in, there's something that we do on this show every single day. See, we got to get the body moving. There we go. We got to get the blood flowing. So we do a little bit of dancing here on hashtag Rise and Grind. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact in their life. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back, right? That's right. Me and Toni are going to say good morning to you this morning. How you doing, Eddie Brown? Eddie Brown's up in here this morning. What's up, Don Sankey? We've got Melissa Young Klein, Rodney Rock Hatfield, Mr. John Coltonborn's up in here, Vicki Everett, which, by the way, Toni, Vicki Everett, she's part of this group called the Twang Sisters. There's 4 of them, and they showed up at my house last night with baked spaghetti and cookies and all kinds of deliciousness. It was amazing. So thank you, Vicki, for that. Carmilla's up in here, Janelle Griego, Brad Smith, Matthew Fry, Tracy Shepard, Jeff Baker, Amanda Sanders up in here, Melissa Young Klein, Kristen Hawk Tibbs. Man, my goodness, we're packed. John Paul Guidry is in the house, Kara Jackson, Emily Gowler. Everybody's up in here this morning on hashtag Rise and Grind. You feeling that music this morning? What do you think, Toni? Can you dig that?
Yeah.
It works, right? You're like, here it is, 5:30 a.m. This boy's crazy. Hey, we're going to dive in with Toni here in just a second. Our series this week has been Summertime Shenanigans, really digging in to what does work-life balance look like and walking and stepping into your purpose. We're going to dive deep into that here in just a second on hashtag Rise and Grind. Let's go. Dr. Toni Haley, MD. Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So happy to be here on this beautiful holiday weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. I am so happy that you're here as well. It is amazing how the universe works. I was telling Tony just before the show, like this week's series is literally built around your expertise, and I set the series 26 weeks ago before I ever knew you were going to be on the show. So it's absolutely perfect. Tony, we're gonna dive in and we're gonna have some fun here. But at 10 years old, you wanted to be a doctor. At 16 years old, you delivered a baby. At 35 years old, you become a doctor. At 37, you're sitting on a beach answering your emails and you realize something was wrong. Tell me about that.
Listen, the vision I had for my life was so crystal clear. But what they do not tell you is how to turn it off.
Mm,
People who listen to your show are ambitious, driven, focused, committed. I believe that. That's why they're up at this time of day, right?
right.
But man, the pitfalls. We don't talk about how to integrate the other half, rest, restoration, connection, disconnecting, unplugging. We don't talk about that part.
Mm,
So when you get used to ramping it up for 80-hour work weeks, I bet there are listeners right now who have worked their fingers to the bone and hit their goals, hit their sales goals, hit their margins. They're worried about this pandemic. They're grinding, right?
no doubt.
But man, how do you turn it off? We do not talk about that skill set. And it is a skill set and it must be developed. They don't have too many classes for that. You and I know about it,
Right.
but we don't talk enough about it. So that we train people to wire for machines, to go hard against the grain. And I was a victim of that, and I admit it. So it doesn't matter how smart or successful you are, if you don't figure out how to also commit to habits that get you ready for battle, get you ready to win and serve other people,
Mm.
you are at risk.
Yeah, I think that's strong, and I like how you pointed out that it takes work. Like it's not just a natural thing, especially for top performers. Those of us that we can go, right? Like you did 3 years, 80-hour work weeks. I've been in the car business. I did 20 years of like 70, 80-hour work weeks. And to be honest, I loved and enjoyed every second of it because we're working and so on and so forth. But your life outside of that tends to fall apart quickly when you demand that much out of yourself, but not. We talked about it this week on Monday. I said we have to change this word sacrifice to invest, right? Instead of sacrificing time with our families to work, let's invest time at work so that we can invest in our families, right? Really make it an investment. Super, super important. So now here you are, you were on a beach, you're 37, you got your new husband who I met, who's an incredible man. You're sitting here working instead of enjoying the ocean. You have the revelation, and what are you doing now? Talk to me about now what you're doing.
Well, I tell you what I'm not doing, and it's attaching my self-worth to those sacrifices.
Mm,
That is really the underlying story. When I did my TEDx on this martyrdom, right? This martyr mindset, right? That is what I realized was underlying everything. So what I'm not doing now is attaching my value to my productivity and
mm,
how hard I work and how many sacrifices and how many things I've missed and how many family gatherings I
yeah.
had to forego. So what I'm doing now is helping other people get liberated from the shenanigans.
Right, very good, good. Helping other people break free. And in your life, I'm hoping and assuming that you've found a way to kind of,
Yeah.
your husband's there with you now. He's
Yes.
helping you set up at 5:30 in the morning, which was amazing.
Yes.
So have you been able to? I know that there's ultimately no when like we talked about it earlier this week. When people say balance, it's not necessarily I'm going to spend the exact same amount of time on this
No.
as I'm in this. It's just making sure that time is meaningful, right? And is that the life you're able to live now?
Absolutely. And it's a skill.
Yeah, yeah.
It's with intention. I don't think people set their to-do list with some of the intention
Mm.
to take time off. This is a little known fact, and I think this is the right place to share it. I was married to a car dealer the first time,
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
and I was in finance, and then I was a life and health insurance agent. So I was a 1099 contractor in my 20s.
Oh wow.
And boy, it's so easy to get lost
Sure.
when you work and focus on only work, and all your holidays are spent working because that's big auto sales time, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So I had to set up my habits and my routine, being intentional with my routine when I saw that that life wasn't at all balanced. My
Right.
new life, I have a list. It's like a checklist that I follow every morning so that, as you said, you start the day off right, your chances are much better of, of getting those things that matter. Family time, not distracted time. I'm not talking about with your devices.
Right.
I'm talking about setting aside meals. I'm talking about getting some downtime and journaling, gratitude time,
Mm.
exercise. I was 40 pounds overweight at my worst when I was sacrificing everything for work. So
Right.
my Peloton, I have to say that, I have 5,000 miles on that sucker, and it's not been,
Eee.
I have 5,000 miles because it's a commitment that I make to myself before I begin all these other responsibilities.
Yeah.
And it makes my days sail by. It makes me feel invigorated. So those routines matter.
I agree 100%. We have here in the group, and I wrote a short little book about it called The Morning Five: Five Simple Steps to an Extraordinary Life, and that's what we talk about, right? Like no snooze button, no phone first thing in the morning, gratitude and goals, take care of the physical, and then step five for us in our group is send out an encouraging message, right? You've spent the morning developing self and getting in that right energy and frequency, so now it's time to release that out into the universe to make an impact in other people's lives. That's amazing how much you align with that. So you coined this phrase, the martyrdom mindset. Can you dive into that a little bit more? What exactly does that mean, and how do we maybe break out of that?
So the martyr mindset is where you think that your value is related to the grind.
Okay.
And so what you're doing is getting this feedback loop. I don't want to get too doctorly on you guys, but there's just,
Hey.
but there's this, there's basically you're getting recognition and reward for throwing yourself at it, throwing yourself into it. But if you think about what martyrs in history are all about, they died
Mm,
for
mm-hmm.
their beliefs. So you think your belief, your goal, your vision, your executing at the highest level is worth every sacrifice there is, but really it's to your detriment. And eventually what you learn is that you're angry.
Mm,
You start to resent these folks. You start to say, well, shoot, you don't even appreciate me. Well, maybe you're doing it for the wrong reason
right.
because you wanted recognition, because you wanted an attaboy, good job. So even your reasons start to get a little fuzzy. Your
Mm,
mission gets a little fuzzy. Your vision is a little blurry. So I say, no, we have to create a new vision with a bigger purpose, bigger than you.
mm-hmm.
It's not all about you. You're put on earth to serve and build a legacy that helps liberate other people,
Right.
right? That hopefully lives on after you. And then give yourself permission to break free of chains of your self talk, your self doubt, where you might have come from, that made you believe, man, working harder is where it's at because you were getting rewards for that, but that isn't where it's at. Give yourself permission to break free of other people's validation.
Mm.
You don't need that. You should wake up and affirm yourself. So in your routine, I do follow most of that. And I also affirm myself every day. You
Mm.
have to reprogram your mindset. I wrote a book called Reprogram Your Mindset to get away from the trap of trying to please other people.
Mm. I
It's
love
a
that.
losing battle.
It is a losing battle, 1,000,000%. I love that though. Just giving yourself permission to unlock from that, right? And to really serve self, but in an unselfish way, right? We can serve self, but do so with the intention to be able to make an impact in other people's lives. And I really like that verbiage, like giving yourself permission, because that's really what it takes, right? We've been told, programmed, conditioned by everything, right? Like just as humans, by the adults that were in our life, the mentors, our environments, all of that stuff. And sometimes it really does. You have to sit down and go, okay, I am going to allow myself to feel and act different, right?
Absolutely. Your unique purpose is different than the people who may be trying to pour into you, and they may have wonderful intention, but maybe your way is the next innovation.
Mm, right. Yeah, if you don't, I like to tell I've worked with a lot of dealerships across the country, and I like to tell them, like, everything that you know has got you to here. That's it. If you want to go here, you're going to have to figure out some stuff you don't know, which is going to come from creativity and innovation and a place that you've never been, right? You can't go somewhere new if you're always hanging out where you were. That's what I like to tell people all the time.
All the time.
All the time. That's beautiful. So what is so like along this journey as you work with humans, you work with elite performers, you work in the
Oh, yeah.
corporate world, and you're helping them break free from this martyr mindset. And I like how you pointed out, like those people all died, dude. They died for their mission and what they believed in. And I don't know if I'm ready to die yet. I feel like living. I got 7 kids. I don't know, you know. So I feel
Yes.
like keep on going. So I like how you pointed that out. They literally died for it, and it's not about that, especially when it comes to when we're just talking about work and career, right? We don't need to die for our work and career. We need to die for something bigger than that. I get that. So what are most people afraid of? Like what are the fears that keep people from unlocking this condition that we're in?
Wow, you are digging deep today. All right. Usually it's rejection or judgment.
Okay.
It's judgment. We were groomed and raised a certain way to believe certain things. We tell ourselves certain things. We say negative things to our own self in the mirror because of how we might have thought for years. And it's time to break free of that. It's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It gets in the way. And we need to, in this difficult time, look at obstacles as an opportunity.
Mm, I like that.
Innovation, we talked about innovation, it comes from solving a problem. Most businesses are developed because they solve a dilemma, a problem. People needed to get, look, horse and buggy wasn't working anymore. We developed cars, right? You're in the car industry. It solves a problem.
Right.
So every obstacle is not a barrier. And having a growth mindset to say, oh, where's the opportunity here? How can I be better, different, come at it at a different angle is very important. But I think there's a key that a lot of people don't know because they don't come from the background that I came from. I
Hmm.
was raised up old school, old insurance guys. I worked for this old Jewish guy. He had this insurance agency. He taught me something that we all need to do. He said you take 10% of your gross income and you invest it in your development, your
Mm,
growth.
mm,
He told me that when I was 25 years old. I have done it. Every year I didn't do it, I paid for it. He said, if you do that, you will multiply your return on investment by 10
wow.
minimum.
Right.
Minimum. So he said, I go 10 to 20, 10 to 30% because I have the formula down. I mean, Stanley, shoot, he was in his 60s when he's telling me this. He said, yeah, you can multiply whatever you invest in yourself by 10. And since you're a winner, girl, that's by five, or, like, you're going to more than 10x it. You're going to
Right.
triple it or double it
Right.
or
Right.
quadruple it. He said, throw it in because every year that you grow, so does your wealth
Mm,
and knowledge
mm,
and impact. So
mm.
your influence grows, but you've got to believe in yourself and invest in yourself. So 10% of that gross income that you either have now or that you envision for yourself,
Right.
invest it.
I really love that, and no one will ever teach you that. They won't teach you that at school. I love church, but they ain't gonna teach you that at church, right? And we've all heard the 10%, like you need to save 10%. We hear that all the time. You need to save 10%. You need to tithe 10%. We hear that all the time. But this is the first time I've ever heard anyone say, I've always invested in myself, but this is the first time I've ever heard anyone say, you need to invest 10% of every dollar that you earn in yourself. It goes back to that word investment that we were using earlier in the week, man. It's not sacrificing 10% of your money, it's investing 10% of your money so that you can invest into your future. And with that growth, you're right, man. Every level, there's always another level, man. Life is the craziest video game ever made in the history of all time, right? Because you go through and you have struggles, and then you grow through those struggles, and then you succeed, you beat the level, and then there's all new bosses. And they come in, and now you got to do it all over again every single time. But if you're doing that with purpose, right? If you're doing that with purpose, where you're continuing to grow your wealth, your knowledge, and your impact, as Dr. Tony was just saying, if you're continuing to grow in those three areas, then you can charge through those next levels. You actually look forward to those next levels. I love that. So turning your obstacles into opportunities, and just really ignoring the ideas of regret, right? Regret and failure. That's what most people are afraid of. Like, you are going to mess up. You are going to fail. It is going to happen. There might even be some things that you regret, but you know what? There's nothing you'll regret more than if you don't continue to grow and make an impact in other people's lives. That's what it's all about. So, what is step 1? We can't get to step 10. I know there's lots of steps. What is step 1 of breaking out and moving towards a joyful, purpose filled life? Step 1 is,
Give yourself permission.
woo, love it, love it.
Mhm.
So that's the first thing. That's the biggest thing that's holding people back, is they won't allow themselves. I like that. I like that, Tony. That's
Mhm.
strong. So when you hear this word, when you hear this phrase, work life balance, when you hear that, what does that what does that mean to you, being an expert in the area, and what does it actually look like in the end, having that balance?
So
What are people really saying when they say to you, Tony, I want work life balance? What are they really saying?
they say, I don't want to die on the stake like a martyr. But what they're not understanding is that work life integration is
Mm,
more realistic.
yes.
We're working from home. We're working these daggone devices, we're always on, reachable,
Right.
available. You're
Right.
integrating, connecting for work, networking every day while you're maybe even being relaxed and social. So we're integrating, and I think the key here is priorities.
I like that.
You better pick your top two, baby, and focus.
That's it.
So what they're really saying is, hey, so what they ask is for time management tips.
All right.
I said, oh, you mean priority management? You want me to help you manage your
I
priorities?
love that. That's right.
Time management. You done lost your mind. So the balance is a misnomer. It's a word. It's been thrown around a long time. What most people want is joy and fulfillment. They thought the grind would equal success, which would equal fulfillment.
hmm
It doesn't work that way, and they are upset and really they're frustrated. They're not sure where to go. But if you give yourself permission to wipe away your old idea and create a new vision of what it looks like when you have joy and fulfillment and feel ready for the world again, give yourself permission to take a vacation, take a break, then we can start to create the life you do want, the one that you thought you'd have by now.
Right. That's beautiful, Tony. I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. Hey, Tony, I'm gonna do something real quick, and I'm gonna come right back to you. So hang tight. Hey, this is Dr. Tony Haley, MD. She's amazing, and if you haven't done so already, you need to go follow her. And also, I know that this is, I got to respect your morning routines. And here it is. We're going on 6 o'clock. You guys got stuff to do. I'm going to ask Tony one or two more questions. But before you guys hop out of here, Tony, why don't you let them know you've got like a free program going on right now that they can jump in and learn more from you, right? How do they attack that?
drtonimd.com. Just go to drtonymd.com, register for our 5-day live coaching so we can walk you through how to get some of your time back
Right.
and hit those goals. The ones you intended before the year started going a little bit left. Let's get going in that right direction. It's the calm and chaos 5-day. drtonymd.com. We got you.
All right. I'm going to write that right here. They're going to see me do it. Dr. Tony MD.com. Is that right? Just like that. So that's where you guys need to go. drtonymd.com. Jump on with her free program. Learn some more from Dr. Tony. Going to be awesome. For those of you that have to get out of here, I completely understand. I know. I respect your morning routine. Go do what you got to do. Just make sure you hit that share button on the way out if you haven't done so already. And just a reminder that we are doing a challenge this month. If you could please invite 10 people to the hashtag Rise and Grind group. Make sure you do that today. And next month, if we can pick up 5,000 members right here in July, if we can do that, then next month we're going to be doing giveaways every day where we're going to be handing out Rise and Grind gear and bags and gift cards and all kinds of other stuff. So make sure you go do that. And then, of course, make sure you come back here Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. on the hashtag Rise and Grind because we're going to continue to do amazing things. So, Tony, now that we got rid of them, all the slackers that have stuff to do at 6 a.m. Eastern, now that we got rid of them, I just want to dive in just a little bit more and then I'll let you go too. So, this whole journey that you've been on, is there anything like you wanted to be a doctor from 10 all the way through? It was all like it was your everything, right? You just kind of knew that that was your jam. When you got there and realized that you were still not like fulfilled, that moment when you realized you still weren't fulfilled, did you have any like regrets? Like you had chased this for 27 years. Was it disappointing at that point or was it more enlightening?
Man, I decided to look back at other similar heart wrenching moments in my life
Mm-hmm.
before I made a decision of whether it was good or bad.
Right.
So I lost my mother when I was 3 years old in a motor vehicle accident.
Mm.
And I was in the vehicle, and my father was a single parent at 22 years old.
Mm.
And that's probably the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Sure.
Okay. But when I look at the rich life that we had and the people who jumped in to make sure that I got my dreams met, make sure, I said, you know what? I bet this is a test.
Mm.
I bet this is level two of the game
Mm.
that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I bet this is a stepping stone, and it's not here to harm me. It's not here to take me off my game. Maybe I missed the assignment. Maybe I only got half the memo.
Right.
So I turned the page
Mm.
and I said, now, what do you want to do? What would you do for free? What would you do what were you born to do? And I decided other people needed to know the truth because they kept inboxing me.
Yeah. Sure.
How
Sure.
did you lose weight? How did you get a husband? How did you change careers? How did you get past your failures in life?
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is a skill set? I got this. And
Yes.
so I realized that it was just level three, and I needed to build upon that knowledge, that understanding, and that experience so that other people could find out what I had learned.
Yeah, I love that. It was there's multiple parts to what you guys just heard right there. Dr. Tony's ability to listen and use her ears, right? This group itself was built through you guys telling me you wanted t-shirts, you wanted a group, you wanted the morning show. Like it's about opening your ears. And I know a lot of, I won't call them leaders, I know a lot of managers that think that their value comes from what they put out, when in reality the value is from what you can take in. How much can you take in and absorb and process and allow that to shift and sway you along your journey? Beautiful stuff. Dr. Tony, I'm going to ask you one last question. I'm going to put you up on top of a mountain. All right, it's you on the very top of a mountain, and all of civilization is at the bottom of the mountain. Everybody, and they're all cheering, Tony, 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 Tony. And they walk over and they hand you a mic, and you have 2 minutes to drop something on them, practical application wisdom, something that they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
Stop waiting for a cosign
Mm,
and execute your vision.
mm,
Build your legacy. I need you to write it down. I don't care how scary it is. I need you to commit to that plan. Surround yourself with accountability and invest in yourself so you can serve as you were intended to do when you were placed on this earth to make an impact. And everything that comes your way is to elevate not only you, but I charge you with elevating others around you. Help them get there too. Don't keep the knowledge, the wisdom to yourself. Your influence is so that you can do just that. I ask you to affirm yourself and believe that you don't need more information. So stop planning, start writing it down, commit to the habits that will execute your plan, and you will win and serve in the ways you were intended to serve.
boom, mic drop. Pow. That is Dr. Tony. She's incredible. Do me a favor. The best thing that we can do for our guests on this show. Think about what she had to do. She got up early. Her husband, they're setting up the camera. She's looking all good. All those things. She's doing all that for you. The best thing that you can do is please pour into Dr. Toni today. Reach out to her, message her, encourage her, hit the share button, let people know that she's here so that they can pop in here and watch. Dr. Toni, that's incredible, man. Build your legacy. Surround yourself with the accountability so that you can serve and elevate others. What an incredible way to finish. You clearly are a child of God, the God of the universe. He's the God who made everything, made you to be the best
Everything.
version of yourself. And you're doing it, Toni. You're doing it every day. And these decisions you're making, these disciplines, these habits,
Yeah.
all the things that you decided to do in your life, I want you to know that they are making an impact. They make an impact on your friends, on your family members. And today you made an impact on me and on us right here on hashtag Rise and Grind. And I am so thankful for you. I absolutely love you for it. Thank you, Toni.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've been awesome. Hang out here in the green room for just a second. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody else. That's it. That's today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. I love you. I love your comments. I hope you enjoyed Dr. Toni as much as I did. You guys are amazing. Have a very safe and yet super fun filled weekend. You know, it's all about friends, family, and fireworks. That's what 4th of July is. Those are the F's for the 4th of July. So go out there and enjoy. Tag your friends in the comments. Make sure everybody catches this episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. And we will see you on the backside on Monday morning. We'll do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. See you guys later.